Hi, we're Roots' International Division. I'm Jennifer, and alongside Braden, we run the financial department. Then in research, we have Kathlina, product development, David and Andrea, then Kathy in media, and finally Mustafa and Evan in marketing. Our project is based off the wise words of one of our favorite profs. International expansion is really more of a question of when, not if. So we decided it was time that the beaver pack his bags and travel. After quite a bit of research, we chose to launch Roots in Switzerland. Switzerland is a fantastic new home for the beaver as it provides foreign companies with many operational benefits. Let's go hear more from Kathlina in our research department.
Thanks, Jennifer. I'm going to give you a rundown of the research I've gathered for both the population and channels of distribution. The most recent estimate from the UN states that the total population of Switzerland is just over 8.5 million people and had a growth rate of 1.1% in 2017. Regarding the distribution of the population, the top three most populated cities are Zurich, Geneva, and Basel, with most of their country's inhabitants living in urban areas. Due to the fact that Switzerland is also home to citizens of many different nationalities, it is important to note that 25% of their population are foreigners, which equates to over 2 million people. Due to diversity within the country, they have 4 different official languages. The second option is opening a Roots store in Switzerland, which is much more demanding financially and requires additional resources in order to be executed successfully. The area in which Roots would be opening the store would be on the famous Bahnhofstrasse Avenue in Zurich. The cost associated with opening a store in this area equates to over $600,000 a year in rent. In addition to the new store, Roots would also need to investigate opening a warehouse nearby in order to sufficiently distribute the products. The average cost associated with opening a warehouse can range from $10,000 to $50,000. Some of the legal regulations surrounding foreign company operations in Switzerland state that public companies must have at least one partner that is a resident of Switzerland. The company must also have at least $100,000 in capital and would have to be set up as a public limited company. The documents required for this process consist of the Articles of Association and proof of the funding from a bank. Additional factors that must be taken into consideration is the registration for social taxes, compulsory insurance to protect the employees, yearly audits, and the value-added tax on businesses that generate more than $100,000 a year in U.S. Finally, the last major step Roots will need to take is trademarking their company name, which will cost them roughly $550. The third option Roots has for a distribution channel is e-commerce. Using e-commerce would eliminate the majority of the costs associated with going through department stores and opening an individually owned Roots store. It's important to note that online shopping has become extremely popular in Switzerland, and in 2017, the top 5 online stores generated more revenue than the top 5 largest shopping centers. It is clear that there is a significant amount of potential in this distribution channel, as it could prove to be extremely profitable while minimizing costs. Now on to the economics and finances of Switzerland.
We'll stop in now at my department of economics and finance to hear more about the Swiss economy from Braden and myself.
Switzerland is a prosperous country that bolsters a modern market economy, which is proven by their ranking of being the second highest gross domestic product per capita globally. In 2016, Switzerland achieved a GDP of $668.745 billion US. In addition, the rate of growth in terms of GDP was 1.4% in 2016, and according to the IMF, Switzerland has been able to achieve an acceptable inflation rate of 1.1%. With their highly skilled and well-treated labor force, Switzerland has been able to maintain a low unemployment rate within their population, being 3.3% in 2017. The Swiss labor market is renowned for its stability and flexibility, with strikes being very rare. In addition to the private pension system, there are also collective labor agreements in place between employee organizations and employers that govern their working conditions. The highly accessible transportation system allows for a stable and constant flow of goods and people from across the country. Switzerland has a dense transportation network throughout the whole country, thus making it easy for travel in any direction. As Switzerland is located in the heart of Europe, transportation accessibility is critical to the success of the economy. The economy within Switzerland has various sectors, such as their tourism industry and their highly developed service sector. The main industries to highlight include their manufacturing industry, specializing in high-technology, knowledge-based production processes, their chemical and pharmaceutical industry, as well as their world-renowned financial services and banks. About 74% of Switzerland's GDP is created through the service sector, while 25% is produced by industry. The agricultural sector utilizes half of the country's surface area and serves a double purpose, to produce food while also protecting and preserving the landscape. The leading exporter in Switzerland is the chemical and pharmaceutical industry, with a handful of firms dominating the industry. The largest industrial employer and another leading exporter is the machine, electrical, engineering, and metals industry. Switzerland is famous for their exceptional quality in their watchmaking industry. Switzerland is ranked as the world's largest exporter of watch products, with Hong Kong and China close behind. From the picturesque, snowy Swiss Alps to their quaint Swiss shops, Switzerland is a common traveler's dream destination. As such, the tourism sector is another critical economic industry and main drivers of the Swiss economy. Switzerland is home to one of the world's most important financial centers and pillar to the Swiss economy. Switzerland's efficient capital markets, societal and economic stability, standard of living, and high-quality goods have made this country one of the most competitive economies in the world.
Switzerland is a major hotspot for foreign investment, as it is both politically and economically stable. Major investment from the US, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, as well as many other European countries, has created a global marketplace within Switzerland. Companies operating within Switzerland benefit from the skilled labor force, excellent infrastructure, low taxes, and an attractive legal environment. Switzerland is an optimal geographic location, located in the center of Europe, with opportunities to easily export all over Europe. The Swiss economy is currently experiencing a surplus of approximately $32 billion, with major exports totaling $299 billion and major imports totaling $267 billion. Currently, the exchange rate is 1.326 Canadian dollars for 1 Swiss franc. With few trade restrictions and multiple free trade agreements, including one with China, Switzerland has a fantastic environment for business. Switzerland is also well known for their science and technology. It is a hub of innovation that global companies flock to for the latest and greatest tech. With approximately 3% of the Swiss GDP being designated to research and development, it is unsurprising that they have the world leaders in technology. The Swiss population is also highly educated and productive, working on average of 1,900 hours a year. Companies operating in Switzerland are able to take advantage of the latest technology and skilled workforce to reach their ultimate productivity goals. Now on to our media department. We'll hear more from Kathy with an analysis of the Swiss media market.
There is a wide range of media available within Switzerland where digital media and digitalized television, radio, and out-of-home advertising demonstrate high popularity and strong potential. Contrarily, the print and non-digital areas face challenges and have shown to be less favorable among Swiss audiences. Starting off with print media, Switzerland acquires one of the highest per capita quantities of newspapers worldwide, with more than 100 daily and weekly local newspapers distributed for free. However, newspaper readership has continued to decrease over the past 2 decades as readers have demonstrated a strong preference in using online news. In 2010, 75% of the population stated that their main source of news comes from free newspapers, but the percentage declined to 62% in 2016. The gross rate to advertise on a traditional newspaper for one full page is approximately 26,200 Swiss francs, or around 35,000 Canadian dollars. Placing an ad in online newspapers costs approximately around 35 to 95 Swiss francs, or 46 to 125 Canadian for cost per thousand. Now on to radio. The Swiss Broadcasting Corporation is a publicly owned Swiss radio and television broadcaster that operates 17 radio stations. Radio is a popular and cost-effective form of entertainment and news in Switzerland. Radio reaches 5.9 million, or 84% of the Swiss population, each day. The price to advertise on radio ranges from 20 to 35 Swiss francs. In regards to television, the Swiss Broadcasting Corporation operates 7 national TV networks. 3 in German, 2 in Italian, and 2 in French. Broadcasts are available through multi-channel, cable, and satellite. In Switzerland, 80% of all households have access to cable TV and receive over 50 channels, and around 10% of households owns a satellite dish. The cost of broadcasting a TV ad is about 75 to 100 net Swiss francs. Television remains one of the most popular advertising channels as nearly all Swiss households owns a television set. Nearly 65% of Swiss people watch TV on a daily basis. Now on to digital and online media. Switzerland is one of Europe's most advanced markets for internet and mobile usage. The total number of Swiss users that have access to internet at home is 7,312,744, which is 89.4% of the population as of 2016. The average cost of broadband per month is around 80 Swiss francs. Additionally, 45% of internet users have access to a mobile device. Mobile media is immensely popular as 81% of the Swiss use a smartphone and 61% say they use it for news. The total number of Swiss mobile cellular telephone subscribers is 11.2 million. A mobile cell phone plan that includes 100 talking minutes and 1 gig octet of data costs an average of 25 Swiss francs per month. Now on to social media, which represents a leading source of information, especially for young Swiss consumers. Overall, 45% of people state that they gain news information from social networks on a weekly basis. In addition, 22% of young adults are dependent on social media as their primary source of information. Facebook is progressively becoming a medium for news consumption. The cost to advertise on Facebook is around 0.75 Swiss francs cost per thousand. The percentage of young adults that stated they use Facebook as a news source has increased to 47% since 2010. The last type of media I'll be discussing is outdoor media. Transit advertising is commonly used and attracts the majority of the population, as 70% of the Swiss population takes public transportation for work. Almost 2.4 million people travel by bus or tramway each day, which ensures that ads will reach various Swiss consumers at different times of the day. The cost of advertising one poster on the traffic side of a bus for 14 days is about 631 Swiss francs. Traditional out-of-home advertising is starting to shift towards digital out-of-home. The cost of digital out-of-home advertising and mobile advertising can range from 9 to 15 Swiss francs cost per thousand.
The Product Development Department with David and Andrea will go into product perception for Roots.
There are 3 distinct advantages that gives Roots a relative advantage over their competitors, the first being superior quality. Roots offers high-quality clothes and accessories that will give them a relative advantage in the clothing retail market. The quality of Roots products will drive consumers to look and try the products. This will then allow potential customers to have an interaction with the products and to see the difference in quality. Consumers will then realize that Roots offers better quality goods compared to competitors and will likely transition their purchases towards Roots products. The second advantage is that Roots is a Canadian good. Being a Canadian good, it is likely to gain quick acceptance. Consumers will see this labeling and will be able to further apprehend the level of status from clothing quality to brand viewing. Although Switzerland is known for making high-quality goods, Roots will have an advantage over them due to their products being recognized as a foreign good. Last is that Roots has environmental concerns that line up well with Switzerland's values. The Swiss are heavily concerned with the environment, which will help us appeal to them when trying to gain acceptance. Knowing this, Roots will be able to gain relative advantage as they surpass the environmental expectations that perhaps other U.S. clothing companies do not. Complexity. Clothing and accessories are simple products that customers can easily understand and know how to use. Clothing is a universal product that everyone uses, which makes it easier for our product to adapt to the Swiss market. Therefore, even though there is an existing language barrier, the objects themselves prove no level of complexity. However, in order to successfully inform Swiss people about our brand, we must inform the target market about why the products are superior to other clothing brands offered in Switzerland. Swiss people are inclusive, authentic, and appreciate craftsmanship, which are core values to the Roots company. These values will resonate well with consumers, but Roots must provide adequate messaging and marketing to consumers in order to fully understand what is being offered.
Entering new markets is challenging, especially when they are structurally, economically, and socially different. Luckily, choosing Switzerland proved to be a great choice when initializing the Roots expansion process. Firstly, the clothing and accessories Roots provides are comfortable, warm, and trendy, as well as layerable. Swiss people enjoy wearing multiple different layers due to the instability of climate throughout the day. This works great with the products provided by Roots because they have a rather large variety, from t-shirts to pants to sweaters, ranging from comfort to casual. Secondly, the Roots logo is highly compatible to that of the Switzerland's national animal, being as they don't have one. Therefore, the introduction of the beaver, a well-recognized Canadian symbol, will be able to become a strong identification to the brand, without creating threats towards the culture and values of the Swiss consumer. This will also become a great addition for commercial purposes and advertising channels. Being a Canadian company, Roots follows a series of seasonal patterns. Greatly so, Swiss temperatures are quite similar to those of Canadian. Summer months range from 18 to 28 degrees Celsius and winter about -2 to 7. Not only is Switzerland's climate comparable to Canadian, it is also far more moderate. Therefore, consumers have the ability to wear Roots clothing without the worries of having to bundle up too much before going out. And this also allows advertisement to focus on more outdoor activities. Lastly, the greatest comparability of all that remains between Switzerland and Canada is their focus towards sustainability and the environment. After doing some research on Switzerland, it is found to be a well-known eco-friendly destination that surpasses charts for green countries and even taking second place on the Yale Environmental Performance Index. Meanwhile, Roots' corporate message states that the company's logo color is green because they value the environment as they consider it one of the most critical issues of our time. By introducing a brand that values the environment and is environmentally conscious to a country that is recognized for being green, our brand will be able to connect directly with consumers through both values and beliefs. When it comes to trialability, since Roots will be opening a physical store in Zurich, consumers will have the ability to go to the store, try on the clothes, and feel their quality. This will gain a better perception of what Roots is all about. By allowing consumers to give freedom to roam around and feel the product, they are able to test both product and brand. Furthermore, Roots takes their trialability one step further, like all good retailers should, and allows for a return policy. The policy allows consumers to elongate their trial period. By taking the clothing home, trying it out without the full stress of having made a questionable permanent investment, they will allow consumers to view the brand as caring and will be able to shop with assurance in the future.
Now that we know more about our new home, let's have a look at the Roots company within Switzerland. Mustafa and Evan in marketing will go over the 4 Ps for Roots.
Now, through our detailed analysis of Switzerland, we have identified the city of Zurich as the optimal location to begin our expansion. As we mentioned before, Switzerland is densely populated, especially among the surrounding areas of Zurich, consisting of a total of 1,032,000 people. This making Zurich an excellent starting point with great potential for future expansions within these surrounding areas. Zurich also consists of a significant portion of the Roots target market, with over 87% of the city's population living in the urban areas, which Roots strives to aim. There are also a variety of different transportation and communication channels that are available in this geographic region. There is the Swiss Federal Railway System, which is a nationwide transportation system that runs through northern Switzerland. There is also the Zurich Transport Network, which is a local public transport system which can be used for Roots employees and executives. Lastly, there is a major airport external link at Kloten, which is right outside of Zurich. In regards to communication channels, companies in Zurich tend to use many of the communications channels found in international markets, and Roots will be working directly with companies such as Swisscom, Sunrise, and Salt to facilitate their communication needs. It is also integral for Roots to understand the behaviors, psychographics, and demographics of the Zurich consumer. For instance, the majority of Swiss consumers place importance to the origin of products. Swiss consumers also value quality in products rather than the design or the brand's reputation. Furthermore, after-sales service is an integral component that may influence consumers' buying decision. In regards to where they buy their products, Zurich consumers prefer physical shops and are not likely to use e-commerce platforms. This is mostly because they enjoy assessing the product's quality, while also being able to speak to the knowledgeable sales representatives. Lastly, healthy and eco-friendly products are also given an increasing value by these customers. Now, throughout this expansion, it is integral that Roots be maintained as a quality but relatively affordable brand. With that said, Roots should continue to use independent retail outlets and should begin their expansions by purchasing a location on Bahnhofstrassen Avenue in Zurich. This strategy will allow Roots to take advantage of the perception of luxury in this location, as well as the large volume of customers. Beginning with only one location will also allow Roots to gain information, brand awareness, and financial stability prior to further expansions. However, there is a caveat. Brick-and-mortar stores tend to have high fixed costs and ongoing variable costs, so an effective pricing and advertising strategy must be implemented to maintain Roots' financial stability. In regards to pricing strategies, Roots should begin by implementing a penetration strategy to help Roots gain an initial customer base. A discount should be used to spread awareness among Zurich consumers with the quality to cost value, while subsequently allowing Roots to quickly be able to cover ongoing variable costs and be financially stable. Once the customer base is established, a market holding strategy should follow to maintain high profit margins.
Kathy explained the various sources of media in Switzerland earlier. After analyzing our choices, we have decided to advertise through Swiss newspapers, social media, and outdoor media in order to reach the largest amount of consumers quickly and effectively. These channels are efficient, cost-effective, easy to implement, and will allow us to reach consumers from a large variety of different ages and backgrounds. We have tough competition in Switzerland from brands such as Lululemon and Adidas. Lululemon is priced very similarly to Roots, as both companies offer comfortable and casual clothing. Adidas, however, has a wide price range. They have some very inexpensive clothing made from cheap materials and some very expensive clothing made from premium materials. We plan to price our products in Switzerland the same as we do in Canada, after accounting for the conversion to Swiss francs, of course. Adidas has a long history in Europe and carries its products in more than 1,000 retail locations in Switzerland. Lululemon, on the other hand, only has one store in Switzerland, but their loyal customers know their products can be found online. Although both these companies carry products similar to Roots, there's room for us as well. Trendy casual clothing and middle-priced streetwear brands are expected to see growth in Switzerland. This means that Swiss consumers are looking for the clothes that Roots is offering. American Apparel was able to grow in the Swiss market despite American clothing brands historically having trouble in Europe. We hope to replicate this success. In 2006, the Swiss clothing market was worth about $6.6 billion, and we expect it to grow with a rising population. Although we're expecting to achieve a profit margin of about 30% in Switzerland, we are not planning to see the Swiss market have a dramatic impact on our company's financial statements in the first year, as our company saw fiscal sales of $326.1 million Canadian dollars in 2017. The Swiss government will not be giving Roots any significant subsidies or tax breaks for entering into the market. However, entry should be smooth as regulations are minimal and will be easy to maintain once our company enters the market.
And that wraps up our office tour of the Roots International Division. We hope you've enjoyed yourself and learned a little bit more about our company. Thanks again for stopping by.